What's up, guys? Nick here, and today was Nintendo's E3 2017 press conference, and there was some good and there was some bad to this Nintendo E3 press conference. I'll tell you guys the highlights, my reactions, my thoughts about this press conference, and what I think about it overall. So, Nintendo, they showed off bunch of new games, some that we knew about, some that we didn't. If you guys saw my prediction video, some of my predictions actually did come true, others did not. But yeah, they first showed off this I guess trailer slash commercial of 3 games, being ARMS, Rocket League, which was a new announcement, and also they announced or they showed off more Pokken Tournament DX being played and stuff. But then they started the announcements, and they had a new Yoshi game that actually looked pretty cool. Like, it's kind of a combination of like Yoshi's Woolly World and like Paper Mario. To be like more specific, it kind of looked like Super Paper Mario, where you like went between the 2D and 3D section, kind of. But yeah, they showed off some new Zelda DLC. They showed off some Mario and Rabbids RPG, which I'm kind of upset about because they already showed it off at Ubisoft, so I don't really get why they had to show it off here. But they also showed off Metroid Prime 4, which was probably the biggest and the best thing about this E3 press conference. They also showed a new Kirby game, which looked really cool. I actually really liked that one, and I'm really surprised. Like, Nintendo's kind of giving people what they want. Like there hasn't been like many Kirby games, and there hasn't been like many Metroid games. What they have, from this press conference and the Treehouse Live, they announced 2 Metroid games, being Prime 4, which we didn't really get any gameplay of, but we got confirmation that was on the Switch. And we also heard that it wasn't going to be made by Retro, it was going to be made by Nintendo and I think another company, I don't really remember. But yeah, and then they're also making Metroid Return of Samus, which looks like it's a Metroid 2 Return of Samus, like a remake of it. But I don't really know if that's confirmed or not. I didn't really check it out that much. But I saw it at the Treehouse, and it looks good, but like, that kind of pissed me off because, like, if you guys know, there was a fan-made game of Metroid 2, which was AM2R, which was another Metroid 2 remake, basically remaking Metroid 2, and it looks really good. It had like Super Metroid graphics, a bunch of new like things that they added, and it looked really good. But then Nintendo shut it down. And now they're like, oh, I guess a lot of people like the Metroid 2 remake. Maybe we should make it ourselves. And that's basically what they did. And they're putting it on the 3DS, which kind of pissed me off because like they're like, oh, let me just shut down this fan-made game and let's go make it ourselves because apparently it's popular. And yeah, like that's just that just upsetted me. But yeah, I don't know the release date for that game, but it could be similar to what they did with Metroid Prime 1, where they released Metroid Prime 1 and Fusion at the same day. So they might do the same thing with the Metroid Return of Samus and Metroid Prime 4, but I think Metroid Return of Samus is coming out pretty soon. I didn't see the release date, but I'm pretty sure it's coming out pretty soon because it is on 3DS, and I'm pretty sure the 3DS will die out kind of soon. But yeah, and same thing with Kirby though, because like Kirby's getting 3 games this year and 1 game next year, which is very impressive. I know it's Kirby's 20th anniversary, but I mean that's a lot of games. You got Team Kirby Clash Deluxe, which came out about a couple months ago. You have what else? The Kirby Blowout Burst or whatever it's called. I don't know the name of it, but the 3D Kirby game that is a remake of 3D Blast from Robobot, and it's basically just more levels and stuff like that, which looks really cool. And then like one of my predictions was that they were going to show more or gameplay of the Kirby multiplayer game for the 3DS that was supposed to come out holiday of 2017. And I don't know if like the one that's announced for the Switch or confirmed for the Switch, if that was supposed to be the one for the 3DS, but they decided to put it on the Switch instead. And like they canceled the project for the 3DS, but instead put it on the Switch instead because maybe they just wanted it Kirby game on the Switch because we already have a lot of Kirby games on the 3DS. But I don't know. Maybe they did cancel the 3DS one, but we'll find out pretty soon. Maybe they already confirmed it. I don't know. Maybe at the treehouse or something that I didn't hear about. But yeah, they also showed off more gameplay, as you guys can see, of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and it looks really good. I absolutely love Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and the story of this game looks just as good, if not maybe even better than Xenoblade Chronicles 1. They also showed off more gameplay of what was it? Fire Emblem Warriors, and that one also looks pretty cool, like the story and stuff. It doesn't look as good as Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but you know, it's just like kind of the same thing as Hyrule Warriors. But it does look pretty good. Like it does look good for a Switch game, and apparently it's also coming for the new 3DS too. So there's a lot of hope for that game, but we'll see what characters get announced. We already got confirmation that Xander. We got some gameplay. We've got a lot of cutscenes that we saw. Like we got to see like Xander. What's his name? The guy in Hashido. I forgot his name. We saw female Corrin and a couple other characters that got confirmed. But yeah, I mean, it looks really good. It's coming out, I think, fall. And another thing that I want to go back to is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like, that is actually coming out this year, holiday. And that's actually really surprising because a lot of people thought that was going to come out for the next year. Because, I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles is a big game, but I guess they've been working on it for a long time and we don't know about that. But, yeah, I am really surprised that it is coming out holiday, but very hyped up for it. As for the Kirby game, as you just saw that right there, it looks really good because like you can actually combine like different powers, as you saw right there. You can combine fire with sword. You can combine ice with rock and get a curling stone, and Kirby can be a curling stone. So it looks like it's really there's a lot of possibilities with abilities, and they also brought back the water ability, which was one of my favorite abilities in Return to Dreamland, and I'm very happy that they brought that back. They also brought back the cleaning ability, which was I think was in Dreamland 3. And I think I also saw one of the animal creatures. I forget what his name is, but I saw one of that too. And then the cleaning ability, like basically just have a broom and you kind of just like sweep the floor, and it was a really bad ability in Kirby's Dream Land 3, but hopefully they make it better in this game. It looked like it was a bit better. We also got confirmation that a RPG Pokemon game will be on the Switch with this guy right here, as you can see. Basically, he just said that he's saying that there is going to be a Pokemon RPG game, and also the Pokken Tournament is basically the better Pokken Tournament DX is the better is like the, I guess, perfect version with a lot of new characters and I think even new stages, he said. I don't know if there's a new story, because I know there was a story in Pokken Tournament, the first one, where it was like with Shadow Mewtwo and all that stuff. But I don't know if it will be the same story in DX, or will it be a different story. We'll just have to wait to find out. A lot of people expected Smash to be announced in this press conference, but Smash wasn't announced, and I'm kind of upset that they didn't really show or like mention the game with Travis Touchdown. Like I wanted like them to like at least tell us what the translator was supposed to say, and like what the guy on stage in the presentation back in January was actually going to say, and maybe even gameplay of that. But yeah, another thing about gameplay though is that we didn't see any gameplay of Metroid Prime 4, because I mean, having the confirmation is really big, but like I would have liked to seen a gameplay just to see what it's like. I mean, we did hear, I think it was a remix music of the intro to Metroid 1, but yeah, that was probably the biggest announcement, and it's right here on the screen. But yeah, I absolutely love the Metroid Prime trilogy, and hopefully the fourth one doesn't disappoint us. It kind of looks similar to Metroid Prime 2, and where it has like a dark vibe to it, which Metroid Prime 2, like a lot of people say, is the worst Metroid Prime game out of the trilogy, but I actually really like it. And I mean, it's not a bad game, but like it's all the three games are the best, but apparently the second one to a lot of people is the worst. But I mean, if it's gonna be the same thing as, if it's gonna be similar to Metroid Prime 2, I wouldn't be mad, because like Metroid Prime 2 was still a great game, to be honest. Maybe there'll be multiplayer like in Metroid Prime 2, which was pretty cool. I really did like the multiplayer in that game, or maybe even as good as Metroid Prime Hunters, and maybe you could play with like the person next to you with the Joy-Con sideways. Cause like one thing that like surprised me was when they showed that Pokken Tournament DX was playable with the sideways Joy-Con. That kind of surprised me, because there are a lot of moves in Pokken Tournament DX, so it might be actually pretty hard, because like you got like grab, you got counter, you have blocking, you have your standard attack, you have your special attack. I think there's a couple others that I didn't mention, but there are a lot of moves in that game, so I'm kind of surprised that you can actually do them all in with just one Joy-Con. But yeah, also when they announced Rocket League the second time, because they showed it first with the like commercial one in the beginning of the press conference, and that towards the end they actually showed it again. At first I thought it was F-Zero GX, or like F-Zero, an F-Zero game, because like I saw like a car racing by, and I thought it was gonna be F-Zero, but they just said that Rocket League was gonna be on there, and there would be exclusive gear, and it also showed that there was gonna be it was gonna be cross-console playable, and yeah, I mean, having Rocket League on the Switch would be really cool, because having it portably, that would be awesome, and being able to play with the person next to you is even better. But I have to admit though, it wasn't as rapid fire as the Direct was back in April, I think it was, or May, I forget when it was, but the ARMS Direct, I think, or no, it was I think it was back in April, the Nintendo Direct before the ARMS Direct. It wasn't as bad, it wasn't like as rapid fire, like there was some speaking, and I was kind of bored at some points, because like they were like talking about things that we didn't really care about, but they did show off a lot of games in 25 minutes, and a lot of new info and stuff like that. They also showed off some other things in Treehouse Live. They showed off a remake of Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga with Bowser's Minions, which looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like it has the same graphics as Dream Team and Paper Jam and just in Superstar Saga, and that's one of my favorite games. I absolutely love that game. Out of the Mario & Luigi series, it's probably my second favorite, right next to Bowser's Inside Story. And I kind of wish that they did a remake of Bowser's Inside Story, but I understand Superstar Saga a bit more, because that was on the GBA, where Bowser's Inside Story is on the DS. So it needs a bit more of a remake than, and it's more older than Bowser's Inside Story. And the Bowser's Minions part where you like fight against the other minions, like you have like a horde of Goombas attacking like a horde of Koopas. It looked pretty cool. I probably won't get it, because I already played Superstar Saga, and there really wasn't much for me. Isn't much for me to do in that game, so I don't know. They also showed off a Sonic Forces trailer, I think at the treehouse or some other place. But they showed that off, and it was really weird. Like, I don't know why like Sonic is working with Chaos. I think I saw, and also the guy from the Deadly Six, the main guy from the Deadly Six. I forget his name, but it was kind of weird. But I guess we'll see more information about the story in that game. We also saw, as you see on the screen right here, the DLC pack for Zelda, which doesn't look bad. I mean, I probably won't get it. Just a bunch of new armor and some different like challenges and stuff. So I don't think I will get it, but you know, maybe I will. I mean, I think the third DLC pack is gonna be the best, which has the new story and stuff, but second and first I don't think I'll get, just because there's no real use to them. But that's just my opinion. But other than that, I mean, we got a lot of good stuff. I'm really excited for almost every single game that they announced, and yeah, even though like some of my predictions, like, they didn't come true, like we didn't get a new WarioWare game. Like, where's WarioWare? We didn't get any information about like Splatoon 2, like any more information about that game. Which, I mean, I wasn't surprised about, because like Splatoon 2 is coming out pretty soon. But yeah, we also got some new amiibo. We got the 4 Champions amiibo, and we also have a new Samus amiibo and a Metroid amiibo, which is pretty cool. Also, they have amiibo for Odyssey. I forgot. Oh my god, I forgot about Super Mario Odyssey, which they announced at the last trailer, and it looked really cool. Like, you can actually you throw your hat, like Mario throws his hat, and can be basically any enemy. He can be a Bullet Bill. He can be even a dinosaur. I don't know why there was a dinosaur there, but I guess it's supposed to be like Yoshi or something. I don't know. But yeah, it looks like he goes like to prehistoric times, which was pretty cool. But it was kind of out of the ordinary. Like, there's just a T-Rex just as the trailer starts, and Mario pops out of it, and you actually can control that dinosaur, which is pretty cool. But like, at first I thought it was like Monster Hunter or something with T-Rex, but no, it wasn't. And it kind of reminds me of like Scribblenauts for some reason, because like I saw gameplay of it from the treehouse, and like you have this like open area, and you have like a bunch of different worlds, and you like go to each world and like solve objectives to get these moon stars, I think, or like moon collectibles. I don't know what they're actually called, but yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, because like you solve puzzles, or like solve like levels and stuff, like with controlling the enemies and stuff. And it kind of reminds me of that, and like Ghost Trick, like where Ghost Trick you can like possess different objects, but in like Ghost Trick you can only possess like non-living objects, but in this game you can actually like possess like Goombas and Koopas and a bunch of other enemies, and to solve problems and get different moon crystals or whatever they are. But yeah, it looked pretty cool. You can also change your hats, and you can customize a bunch of stuff. Coins are actually currency in this game, so you can actually like buy like hats and outfits and stuff like that to like solve more objectives. Or I think they actually have special powers too. I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me. But yeah, I think so. I think there's some special power to them. Either that, or they just solve objectives. So I saw like they put like a sombrero on and the poncho on to get into a certain area to get a moon crystal. And I think with having that on, you can actually play the guitar, and that's why he got a moon crystal. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool. Also, there still is hope for Mother 3, which I'm kind of upset that they didn't show that, but because like as all the games they remade on the GBA, like they're kind of teasing us. They're like, yeah, here's a remake of Super Mario, or Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and Bowser's Minions. Why couldn't that be Mother 3? But yeah, there still is hope for Mother 3, because if you guys remember, Mother 1 was announced for the when the Smash Bros. Direct or Smash Bros. Tournament was happening. So there still is possibility for Mother 3 to be announced the same way as Mother 1 got announced. I think it was 2 years ago. So there still is possibility, and I hope that they do announce Mother 3. Even if they announce it on the 3DS, I just really want it, and have people be able to experience Mother 3, like, and how great of a game it is. But other than that, I mean, Nintendo Z3 wasn't that bad. It wasn't good either. Like, there were some things that were good and bad, like I said in the beginning. They kind of wasted time in certain sections, like things that we already knew about, like Rabbids and Rocket League. They showed twice, kind of. But yeah, other than that, it was a pretty good Direct, and I'll be watching more of the Treehouse, and maybe I'll do a reaction if like something really big comes up. But yeah, anyway, that's gonna be it for today, guys. So let me know in the comments below what you think about Nintendo Z3. But until then, stay tuned for more Nintendo right here on Tell Nick. Bye.